We came over here and we said we wanted to be not only 1-0, but 2-0, and we're 2-0 going back to the U.S. Great job.
And there's Doug Peterson in the locker room, leaving London with 2 wins and really flipping the season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are now 3-2 and now trying to go on a run.
And on the field, what a terrific team performance yesterday. And Darius Williams continues to play good football. 2 weeks in London, a couple of picks. Boy, he tracked this one down and went up and took it away from Stephon Diggs. Big play for Darius Williams. We're going to talk about the Jags being 3-2 and beating the Bills right now on Jags Report Live.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
All the way from London. Feels good to be 2-0 over here in London. Can't wait to come back home, play in front of our home crowd in Jacksonville. Appreciate you guys.
Well, what a week it was in London for the Jags, mostly because they got 2 wins. Hard to do much better than that. First team ever to play back-to-back. First team to get 2 wins, obviously, and Trevor Lawrence was fantastic. I'm sure all these folks here at Sneakers in Jax Beach love the performance and enjoy the rest of their Sunday, by the way.
Yeah.
When you win early in the morning over here, you get to enjoy the rest of it.
Good thing.
Brett Martineau along with Dan Hicken. Aaron Beasley will join us as well. Of course, players from the Jags will rejoin us next week, but they're probably getting a little shut-eye and getting ready for an Indianapolis team coming to town. It turns out that's going to be a big game on Sunday for the Jags, first-place game.
Yeah, and we're going to see our old friend Gardner Minshew, the Chews, coming back to town, so that'll be fun. But we'll worry about that a litlittle bit later. Right now we want to talk about just an important victory over the Buffalo Bills, a season-changing victory. You know, they left 1-2, they come back 3-2, and that final score, 25-20, yeah, Jacksonville dominated Buffalo. We're going to break this down for you right now and kind of show you how Jacksonville was able to dominate Buffalo. They came into the game, Brett, 29th in the NFL in third down conversions. That's not good enough. And to give you an idea, they were at like 31%, right? And the best in the NFL going into yesterday were the Dallas Cowboys at 51%. Well, the Jags were 10 of 18 on third downs yesterday. That is outstanding.
Really good. And 7 of 10 in the second half.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was Trevor Lawrence throwing the football. He was 9 of 10. A favorite target was Calvin Ridley. I mean, this was just excellent execution from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's been a word with the offense that, well, has been missing, quite frankly, the first month of the season. So the Jaguars turn in a big-time effort to get those third down conversions rocking.
And you see some of that. I want to talk, too, about Trevor and the downfield passing. We'll do more on him in a bit. But my goodness gracious, I mean, he was throwing lasers and darts and all over the field. And what I loved about the offense yesterday was it wasn't the dink and dunk stuff, right? It was down the field. It was 14-yard comebacks, and it was Christian Kirk over the middle running across the field for 32. And it was just brilliant to watch. And the only way he was missing was when a Bills linebacker would get his paw up and knock it down. I thought he was absolutely terrific yesterday.
It's time for the game plan, sponsored by Everbank. Advantage you. Make the most of your money at everbank.com/Jaguars.
Well, here's what I liked about what the Jags game plan did, and Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, give him credit. The run wasn't great in the early going, but they kept with it and kept with it, and they wore down the Buffalo Bills. They ended up running it, Dan, 40 times for 196 yards, and Travis Etienne took off. What a ball game for him with 184 total yards.
I feel like you see week in and week out, you won't see guys get 100 yards if they don't have 20 carries. This is the NFL. You just got to kind of wear them down throughout the game and wear them down. Who's able to do that? And those tackles they was making in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, they don't want to make those tackles no more. Guys start making business decisions, and that's when you have to just put your head down and keep running.
Man, I love Travis Etienne. I think he's so underrated. He was special on Sunday for the Jags.
It looks like there's a holding call on the field.
Holding. Offense number 73. Holding. Offense number 64. Holding. Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So they didn't get a sack, But those are like sacks. And listen, we're going to talk a lot about the defense, and that's why I'm glad we got a special guest in the house tonight to break it down for us. But they did affect the quarterback. They did get pressures. They did cause the Bills to hold and move the ball back 10 yards at a time. So who better to talk about defense than Killer Bees, one of the greats, Aaron Beasley, former Jags quarterback. What up, Bees?
What's up, Dan? Happy, energized about this win yesterday, man.
Yeah.
That defense was good. Listen, everybody watches metrics and talks about sacks, and everybody's on the Jags pass rush. But I tell you what, they might be leading the league or close to it in drawing penalties and holding calls. They are interrupting and impacting the offensive line and the offenses, maybe just not to the tune of a bunch of sacks.
Well, the game is about choreography, if you think about it. You know, we practice all of these situations just so that we're always prepared. And you know, as an offense, when you get to 1st and 20, you don't really practice that much.
Right.
You know? So I feel like that, and I feel like sometimes people get in the stats and see that Josh Allen may have thrown for 300 certain yards.
Sure.
But look at our turnovers. You know, that's what wins games, when you take possessions away, and then we actually score on one of them. So that's even better.
But as a former cornerback, you do love when they get after the quarterback. Oh. It does make your job a bit easier. Talk about, you played on some teams that really got after the quarterback. I think the 99 team had 50-plus sacks. So, I mean, that helps you, and also leads to turnovers as well, because you can kind of jump the routes a little bit quicker.
I mean, there's such a timing of the game.
Yeah.
And I have in my head a clock that the ball has to be going at a certain time. Mm-hmm. Now, when that pressure's happening and it has to become earlier, now they're out of rhythm. And that's what I like about what we're doing. We're getting offenses out of their rhythm.
I think the secondary is playing really good ball overall for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you know one thing they do really well? Is they tackle.
Oh,
and
they
the Jags are that guy especially,
Tyson.
number 32. Remember on this show last year, Dan Arnold came in here to Sneakers in Jack's Beach, and he said he might be the best tackling corner I've seen at this level.
Yeah.
And 32 knows how to tackle. Darius Williams made some critical tackles. These guys are doing a good job of tackling in space.
Well, I mean, you get to where you're supposed to be, and you fly to the ball, you know, because I had a guy like Donovan behind me,
right.
And if I go to the right angle, Donovan's always going to clean it up, and that's what they look like. They're all in sync together. Everybody's in a rhythm, and that's, you can see it when they're out there, man. They're having fun and they're flying to the football. All right,
let's look at some of the numbers from the defense, because they were terrific again. Listen, this is a high-powered Buffalo offense.
35 points a game coming in.
They hung 48 on the Dolphins the week previous, right?
Exactly.
So first scoreless first quarter this season, right? They had 4 3-and-outs all year. The Jags forced them into 2 in the first quarter. They only ran for 29 yards, 5 of 12 on third downs. It was a terrific performance by the defense. Now, Aaron, I need to ask you your expertise question. There was a moment with Josh Allen yesterday, and I want to show it to the folks, and you tell me, was this a sack or was this not a sack? They called roughing on that one. Ooh, that's a tough one.
We know what everybody here would say.
I know.
I've been fined for worse than that.
Yeah.
You know, but that right there was, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Is, you know, he didn't lead, he didn't use a crown, so I was confused about that call myself.
One thing, and I think you'll admit this, and I want to show Trevor now getting sacked around the head as well. And Trevor hasn't achieved superstar status yet like Josh Allen. So if you touch the quarterback in the helmet, that's a flag, no matter what. Tom Brady got him. Back when you played Peyton Manning, if you touched him, you get a flag.
Yep.
It's different for different guys. That's the frustrating part, man. I mean, how do you not throw that?
How would that not be if the other one was? And by the way, I think by the goofy rule that is the face mask, even if the player lowers his head, Josh Allen probably was a penalty. But that's got to be a penalty.
Both of them. Be consistent, referee.
That's all.
That's all. That's all we look for.
And there was another one where, and quite frankly, I didn't think it was a penalty. Help me. It was a defensive back over the middle of the field.
On Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley got hit.
That looked like violent now.
It
so I
did look violent, but it looked like a clean hit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's not much more you can do. I mean, he kind of turned his body, took one step. There's going to be a collision. What are you supposed to go like
this? It's a different game than when I played.
It is.
You know? I even look at it, how big our pads were back then. You had some big, gigantic pads because it was collisions.
I mean, Donovan was a ferocious hitter in your secondary. I mean, that's how you guys – and that was his game.
And that's one of the differences. Now guys are more tacklers than they are hitters.
Yeah.
I do think you bring up a good point, though. When will Trevor start to get those calls, right? I mean, he's becoming an elite player.
Right.
He's a face of the franchise here, but he's one of the faces of the league. So sooner or later, you got to protect the quarterbacks like the Josh Allens, the Mahomes, the Bradys over the years, and I bet Trevor's getting pretty close to that.
Yeah. I mean, he's top notch. You guys were saying it earlier, he was throwing darts.
Oh.
I mean, the ball, it just comes out a different way when he throws it.
Yeah.
And like that one throw to Ridley, I was thinking like how open is in the NFL and how open it is in college.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got to have like a step or two. Like, and NFL guys can cover. And I mean, that was that close to being a knockaway.
Dropped it in the bucket.
But he dropped it in the bucket, threw it in a perfect place. I mean, that was a great throw.
Well, we've got another example of it right now.
Power Play of the Week, sponsored by IBEW Local 177, powering Jacksonville since 1912.
This is just tremendous. Tremendous on both ends of it. The throw, he got whacked. They actually got a personal foul on that play, too.
He got hit in the head on that one.
Well, they called it, though.
Yeah.
They ended up being a two-point conversion because of it.
Right.
But Zay Jones, look at Zay Jones. I mean, what a catch.
Welcome back, Zay Jones. That was terrific. Unfortunately, hurt his knee later because he is an extra element to this offense that I like. He makes those catches, and Trevor likes to throw it up high in the back of the end zone, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those guys you can't cover him one-on-one out there within the game because now you're getting double with Ridley, and you might have to double Kirk in the slot.
Right.
So now he's getting one-on-ones, and it shows.
And I think the defensive back, he had fairly good coverage. He just went up and got it and got his toe. I didn't think he thought he could get him in, and he did. And that's, again, you guys, I guess the best thing for you. Yeah, I guess the best thing for you is to shove him out of bounds, right, while he's in the air.
And that's what happens when you don't, because they're used to running a route on air.
Yeah.
And Jimmy used to always tell me, like, man, you give me problems, but it makes it easier in the game because guys don't jam him.
Right.
Because now you're in the rhythm of what you worked on all week.
Mm-hmm.
So they worked on that all week. He didn't touch him, and it's a rhythm throw.
The brilliance of that play, though, is he's looking left. He knows he's about to get hammered, and he still delivers it. I thought that was just the start of a really good day for Trevor Lawrence, and we'll take a little bit of a closer look at that when we come back here from Sneakers in Jax Beach. It's Jags Report Live. Trevor had a big day. He needed a big day, and now maybe he gets the Jaguars on an offensive roll. They're so close to exploding on the scoreboard, just not completely there yet. Hope everybody else is having fun here at Sneakers. Get a little dinner, have a little drink, celebrate a win. Indy's up next.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
He played his off today. He played his off last week. Some of the throws he made today was incredible.
That's Evan Ingram on Trevor Lawrence, and I really love hearing the stuff in the locker room yesterday because I think these two games in London, I think Trevor elevated an already good status inside that locker room to another level. I think they gained even another notch of respect for their leader and the franchise quarterback.
Aaron, talk about the quarterback and the importance of him being a leader. You were around Brunell, who's more of a quiet guy. He didn't like the limelight. He didn't like to do interviews. I always used to tease him every week. He'd come in to do his interviews. He'd go, yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. Trevor seems to embrace it more. He may not love it, but he's fine with it. He knows it's part of the job, and it really is in this day and age.
It's almost like the team just expects all the energy from him.
Yeah.
And you see it when we play that, I mean, with these throws, guys want to stay here and play here. You know?
Yeah.
It's like a destination to come play with a quarterback like that.
They recognize the talent. Yesterday, I thought we all recognized a little toughness as well. The last couple weeks been using the legs a lot. Here's Trevor and Doug Peterson talking about Sunday.
That's the way this game is. You're never going to be perfect, and even more so, it's important to focus on the next play when you did have a bad play because you got to bounce back. And the team, they need me to play well if we're going to win. So I understand that, and that's what I had to do.
From a quarterback's perspective, hanging in there against a really good pass rush, you know, even getting hit after he delivered the football and delivering it accurately to keep us on the field. He made some outstanding throws, you know, with guys in his face. So played tough. He played physical, did everything that we expect Trevor to do.
Well, I showed you this number earlier, or said it, and I will show it to you. 9 of 10, 114, and a touchdown on third down. So, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Wow. And the incompletion should have been caught by Zay Jones on the sideline. 8 completions for a first down or a touchdown. The one to Evan Ingram came up 2 yards short of the first down. It was money stuff. Like, this is what franchise quarterbacks, this is what elite quarterbacks do. This is why they won the football game as good as the defense played and ETN ran.
All right, I'll be the negative guy here.
Of course you
We
will.
all love Trevor. He's played great. I was thinking about your old coach when you were here. The old man, he doesn't like when you don't have ball security.
Oh.
So Trevor has a little tendency. Now, one wasn't his fault, but that one you gotta secure that football. Yeah. That's the only thing that kept him from playing maybe his best game as a Jaguar yesterday. Is that something you can learn, Aaron, as the years go by?
I mean, the way these guys tackle nowadays, they don't even tackle. They go for the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to be prepared for that, though, and just that one is tough, right?
You have
there.
no chance.
Like that, you can't do anything about that. But like when you're moving in the pocket, I mean, sometimes you might lose a couple yards, but your ball's secured, and that's the main thing.
Well, listen, he said it, too. He said, I still make bad plays. And that was a situational awareness play, too, because they lost 3 points because of the fumble, right?
And he went full out almost Garo Yepremian, for those of you who don't know, on the one that went over his head. He chased it down, he turned around, and he kind of just I'll try to make a play here. And the competitiveness in him won't allow him to just take the big sack. And it's 3rd and 36, Trev, and we just got to live with it, and we'll throw a screen and punt it.
Yeah, but you know what? He'll figure that out eventually, I think.
Yeah.
Just keep chucking it like you did Sunday, Trev.
Yeah.
I'll put up with the other stuff.
And didn't you guys feel like Calvin Ridley was more like in the first couple of games, maybe they were forcing it to him, but it felt like yesterday it was just in the flow of the game. And there he'd be, and Trevor would go to him, or a back shoulder throw, which was beautiful. And there you go. And that one was just Dan Orlovsky diagrammed that today and said it was the best play of his career because of the way he did it. And
leading man out there, like leading him to the sideline.
And he knew he was going to get hit. Yep. There was a free rusher on him, 3 steps and let it go, and it was beautiful.
That's what I saw. The timing of the throws, that ball was coming out. Because it's funny, when I watch the game with other former players, it's like all of us are saying, throw it. Right. Because we all have this time clock of the game, like when the ball should be thrown. Because what is it now? Most quarterbacks get rid of the ball in less than 3 seconds.
2.5.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's big right there. I mean, and our route running was like out of control yesterday. Like a couple of them times, I'm like, oh, that would have hurt my hip.
Ridley has such quick feet. Yeah,
I like that. Ridley, by the way, I thought this was an awesome game for him because now this could propel him as well to having a big year. But you said it, Dan. They shared the sugar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, ETN got it 30 times if you count the passing game.
Yeah.
Ridley right there for 122. Kirk is still making all the big catches when he needs to.
I love it.
And we leave Zay Jones out of this, but he had the big touchdown catch and then got hurt. So Jags really shared it. And you said it, kind of in the rhythm.
Yeah.
When this thing is in a rhythm, you get a lot of people involved, and it's hard to defend everybody on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The drive of the day, driven by your local Ford dealers.
What I see, like with Evan Ingram.
Let's take a look at the drive of the day here. We go back to their own 6-7 yard line, and look at that.
Look at that, and then look at the throw.
This is for 20 yards out of his own end zone. He did it twice on Sunday out of his own end zone.
3rd and 6. That's unbelievable. He gets out. I mean, they were after him all day. He was sacked 5 times.
You don't want him to take a sack there, do you?
No. Such a great play. Such a great play. And then ETN caps it off with a beautiful run into the end zone. And it seemed like that was going to be the ball game, but Buffalo would come back, and then Jacksonville would answer again.
But here's the deal. That was a 17-play drive where they didn't get any points, and then a 10-play drive right there where they did get points. Ball control shows that Press, Doug, and Trevor were in a rhythm on Sunday. And
I was just going to say, B's 82 plays. Imagine being on the field as a defender for 82 plays playing your position. You got to be dying, right? I mean, you got to be dying. That's tough.
I mean, you're expecting about 60 at the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to go 80 plays, because that game up there is like, I can't explain how full speed it is.
Right.
You know? Those guys are so big that we don't realize, and it looks easy, but physical play. I mean, it's like a car crash.
Yeah. Oh, it's violent. It's every time I watch NFL football and watch those guys hit, I'm like, my gosh, what a violent game.
No doubt you saw it. The Bills got worn down by the end of it because of a lot of that. Let's bring in Action Sports Jax. Stuart Weber made the trip to London as well and talks a little bit more about kind of that familiar offense of ball control.
Head coach Doug Peterson knew his team was going to have to put an emphasis on running the ball if they were going to beat the Buffalo Bills. Well, Travis Etienne with a breakout game and time of possession swings way in favor of the Jaguars as they keep Josh Allen and that Bills offense off the field.
We just knew we needed to go on a drive because our defense was playing magnificent. Defense was playing great football, but we knew we couldn't keep putting them back on the field. Just try to play some complementary ball. They get off, we go on a long drive, give them a break. And I think that's got to be one of the staples of this football team is complementary football.
That's all we needed was a little drive, field position battle. Keep us fresh. We're going to try to get them the ball back as soon as possible. It's all complementary football. Seeing them move the ball was good for us, and we want more turnovers, though.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you keep an offense like theirs off the field and, their high-powered offense. If you can hold on to the ball and win the time of possession, you're giving yourself a chance. And so for us, being able to string together drives like that, it's kind of we're kind of getting back to who we were and who we are. Being able to put together those drives, those long drives, it's crucial for us.
You have to make note of the fact that Cam Robinson returned to the starting lineup for these Jacksonville Jaguars. His experience as a really good run blocker certainly helping Travis Etienne and the Jaguars' rushing offense on Sunday. In London, England, Stuart Weber, Action Sports Jax.
We'll talk to Cam Robinson a little bit later on in the show. Plenty of sunshine and rainbows to pass around. And hey, if you thought it was dreary in London, it is just the opposite. It's been the best weather week in the history of London, England last week for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're live at Sneakers in Jags Beach. Mark Brunell here. Hey. Got old school Jags, including Aaron Beasley. More to come on Fox 30.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Listen, these games are emotional, man. They're hard fought. It's okay to let your emotion and your, everything show every now and then. Maybe I should show that emotion a little bit more.
I love that. I think fans love that. I think Doug is a cool customer, but at times it's okay to get a little fired up, and that was a huge win for the Jags. I mean, it wasn't like a season over kind of loss if they had lost to Buffalo, but it really flips it.
They needed
how you want to look at it.
They sort of return to where we are, I think, with our expectations,
Absolutely.
Right, Aaron? I mean, don't you think that now we can get back going again at 3-2 and stack some wins and see what happens?
I mean, I wouldn't want to come home like on a loss and then have to come play again. So I think momentum is big in every game, but it's also big throughout the season.
Let's go Sunshine and Rainbows, Calvin Ridley. We got a lot of nominees here for Sunshine and Rainbows. We could have put the whole Jags team up here.
Team balls for everyone.
Had a big day, of course, with the 7 and 122, and it just felt like every catch was clutch. Darius Williams, who actually got picked on a little bit in this game.
Yeah.
But that play he made to pick it off.
That's
Aaron,
the only play we remember, right?
That's right.
You give up some plays.
That's right.
And it's like that. That's the only play they remember as a defensive back.
Heck of a play.
Man.
Heck of a play to go get it from Stephon Diggs. Maybe he was too tired. I don't know. And London, 2-0. Jags had a good week there. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
They will be back. Will they be back for multiple weeks? We'll see. There's going to be a little bit of a evaluation of how this all went for the Jacksonville Jaguars and probably the NFL.
All right, we're back on Jags Report Live. Hicken and Martineau. Aaron Beasley is our guest. Look, we get a little miffed down here in Jacksonville because the National Football League, the national media, they don't pay a great amount of attention to us yesterday, so it angers us. Like Maria Taylor of NBC last night made a little off-color joke about, well, hey, Jags ought to stay in London. Well, it infuriates Jags fans when they hear stuff like that. And yesterday I was getting a lot on social media as the game was unfolding with Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner. They're so pro-Buffalo, Aaron. They're just talking about the Bills. It's not how the Jags are winning. It's how the Bills are losing. So I said, well, let's listen to Eisen make a couple of calls and see if we can hear in our heads, in our ears, if they're pro-Buffalo or not. So we'll see the excitement level with Rich Eisen.
Surveys the scene. The end zone. Touchdown! Zay Jones goes up to get it. Allen to his left. Flips it. Gabe Davis! Touchdown, Buffalo!
Well, did you notice a difference at all?
Yeah.
You felt like it. But here's the thing I always say, Dan. I think sometimes as fans and everybody, you hear what you want to hear.
Yeah.
A little bit of it. I don't think those guys are rooting against Jacksonville. But Buffalo is one of the premier teams in the NFL,
Exactly.
and they become a darling very easily.
Well, they've been a little more consistent to the playoffs.
Sure.
And they got the respect right now. So I think we earned a little bit more. I mean, but the thing is, we just got to be more consistent. Just win the games we're supposed to win,
right?
And we won't have that worry.
Yeah, it'll come. John Madden once told me, I said, why don't you guys come down? Look, I understand the Jaguars don't have a winning record, and the national guys go to where the wins are. But he says, well, it's a corner spot in the country. Like, Seattle's in the corner, Jacksonville's in the corner. We don't go to corners.
Well, you brought up a good point to me earlier, though. If Buffalo can get a lot of the national love, smaller market, then why can't Jacksonville?
And they will.
Again,
if they, like Aaron said, if they get consistent and win, they will.
And Doug Peterson's a Super Bowl winning coach. I think he's a star coach.
Yep.
And Trevor Lawrence is a National Football League star. So you're right. If they win, everybody's going to be talking about Jacksonville as well. Just wish they would have talked a little bit more about the win.
I mean, you got to think Buffalo went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, so their history at the same time is a little more in depth than ours. So we just got to gain the respect by winning. We win a Super Bowl, all that changes.
Yeah.
He's right. He's
when
right.
we come back, you got to beat the Indianapolis Colts if that's going to happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
At least this week. Minshew coming back. What a storyline. It happens in Jacksonville. We'll talk about it live from Sneakers in Jax Beach. Hey, look. We even made the paper. They made the paper.
Yeah.
Always good to get your picture in the paper and on TV. Better to be on TV, of course. You're live on Fox 30.
Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
We just know who we are as a defense. We know that our standard, we know that we got to always come out and play to our standard. And if we do that, man, we don't care the top scoring offense, the bottom scoring offense. We're going to make it hard for any offense.
Hey, Rayshon Jenkins had tackle for loss, a nice pass breakup as well. He's quietly playing good football. Hasn't come up with a big turnover like last year yet, but don't worry, he will. We are live at Sneakers in Jax Beach, live right here on Fox 30. Appreciate everybody coming out. Again, we'll have player back on the show Monday on the current Jags roster, but we're excited to be here with a former Jags player, Aaron Beasley, tonight on Jags Report Live. Brent Martineau, Dan Hicken, and next up for the Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, so when you take a look at the schedule, you see the importance of the Colts game because Jacksonville's already lost a home divisional game. You got to win your home games. You got to win your divisional games. Aaron, you got to win your home divisional games.
I mean, that's the quickest way to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Win your division.
Yeah.
So that's what we're always taught. That's the first goal to get into the next round.
And I don't know who you'd rather see, Anthony Richardson or Gardner Minshew, but let's talk about Richardson first. He's likely out for the next month, and he continues to get hurt. And this is a problem in Indianapolis right now.
Well, it's the one thing with AR that I was always concerned about because he was always nicked up at Florida. And some guys, the best ability is availability, they say. And Anthony's played good football when he's been in there. But he's gotten hurt, which means Gardner Minshew's coming back to town. You came back as a member of the Jets. What happened to you?
I was a little too excited. Knew the playbook.
Yeah.
And I guessed wrong. And the first play, Freddie took me deep. It was like I studied the film, and I mean I didn't even have to study the film. I knew all the plays.
So it'll be a totally different Colts team. It'll be Minshew at quarterback, and Jonathan Taylor is back signed and sealed with the Colts, and he'll be playing alongside with another guy who had a huge day yesterday.
Yeah, but Taylor hardly played yesterday, so how much will they ease him back? Will he get a bigger workload? And right now, Moss is playing out of his mind. He's averaging over 100 yards a game.
He had 167 against the Titans yesterday. Now, the great news for the Jags is they stopped the run.
They do a good job of stopping the run. Again, only 29 yards yesterday against the Bills. The last time, in fact, the only time the Colts haven't scored, had over 100 yards rushing, was against the Jags in the opener. They held them to 65 yards. So take a look at the AFC South standings. Who would have thought in Week 6 that this would be a first-place game with Gardner Minshew against Trevor Lawrence? It's pretty wild. The Colts have actually exceeded some expectations of mine so far.
Oh, yeah.
And this would be a massive win for the Colts. The Jags got to get it. They got to sweep the Colts, I think, if they want to do the things that they want to do.
And the Titans get to go to London, so have fun over there. Enjoy it. You get tired and et cetera. And boy, oh boy, C.J. Stroud, he did it again yesterday. He just did it too quick.
Yeah,
so the Falcons were able to get a field goal at the end and knock them off and drop them to 2-3, which was big.
Your keys to the game, sponsored by Greenway Kia.
Well, let's take a look. Stop the ground game. Dan just said it. I mean, it's the key to almost every game, but especially against the Colts.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to have to protect Minshew with the run game. I mean, two backs with their line, they're going to pound it.
Well, and home sweet home, you said it, Dan. I mean, Jags' home win has come in London, really, against the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, it's such a quirky start to the season. They haven't won at the bank. They lost 2 at the bank. They won in Indy, and they won 2 in London. Figure that out.
Really weird.
It's the NFL, man.
Plant the Gardner. Now, get to him if you can, but here's the thing about Gardner.
I know.
They're not going to ask him to do too much, and he's not making mistakes. Like, that's why I think I'd rather play the rookie quarterback, because he's more apt to make mistakes. You take a look at some of the numbers now in the AFC South. Look at Minshew can do this. Minshew's going to come up here, too, with a chip on his shoulder.
Big chip.
He is.
Because he don't like
you know that, Aaron, right? You returned to a team that you left. You want to
show him.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you let me
you
go.
made a mistake.
Yeah,
Watch
exactly.
We know it's a young quarterback division. You see Trevor, what he's doing. C.J. Stroud, yet to throw an interception. He continues to impress. And then Ryan Tannehill, it seems like good, bad, good, bad. He's very inconsistent right now.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit. He's got 3 touchdowns and 5 picks. So, but I saw one thing yesterday. DeAndre Hopkins can still play.
He's starting to get involved a little bit more. So they got to play the Titans twice. Again, you have to sweep somebody.
Yeah.
They can't sweep Houston.
Right.
So sweep the Colts. And even if you split with the other two, I think that puts you in a good position to win the AFC South. What's going on around the National Football League? It's been a wild start to the season.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy might never lose. He really might never lose. And Joe Burrow finally won. It had to be the shirt, I guess. We're live at Sneakers in Jags Beach.
Yeah.
Jags Report live on Fox 30. It's time to go to get something to eat, Hicken.
Oh, let's go.
Do it when we come back.
The Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Hey, welcome back to Sneakers in Jags Beach, and the most important part of the show, everybody's favorite part of the show, Dan Hicken's favorite part of the show, it is what's on the menu.
Yeah.
Jags Report Live menu, that is, and nachos apparently on the menu.
Oh, those look good, Aaron.
Aaron
dig
Beasley, dig in, man.
Come
on, you're looking good.
There we go.
Stay away from the cheese, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hick should probably stay away from a bunch of this stuff, but do you see him doing that?
No, dive in.
I mean, you can't even wait to get our first topic on the menu.
What is the first
in.
topic? Good teams.
Look at the microphone. Look at this. He doesn't take care of the equipment. He's got cheese on the microphone. Such a slob. Reagan, how do you put up with this at home?
No one knows.
Unbelievable.
Give me a napkin.
Who's the best team in the NFL? San Francisco, the Eagles? You need some water?
I took a hot pepper.
Hey, I might be doing this segment by myself. I'll say the San Francisco 49ers. Are they unstoppable or what?
And Brock Purdy looks great, and it's interesting, Mr. Irrelevant and how he's playing. I kind of called him the Danny Werfel of the NFL. I've never seen an NFL quarterback throw to spots. He throws to spots, and the receivers come and catch it. He's so accurate, man. He's unbelievable. What do you think?
I was going to say about the best teams. I'm more of an Eagle, but
yeah, that's right, Philly guy.
My thing is, when you look at both of these teams, they win by dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and it shows the energy from both sides of the ball from both teams, and that's, I mean, I hope, and we're coming for that.
By the way, San Francisco is coming to Jacksonville, and right now we'd like to cross that one off the list.
Philly, by the way, only has to play for 9 yards, not 10.
That's it. They don't.
Because they can't be stopped on that play.
They really can't. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow finally got going. Well, Chase has had 2 big games now, but Burrow finally got it going. It was the Arizona Cardinals, but a good win for Cincy.
Jamar had a game like your old teammate Jimmy did against a very good Baltimore Ravens defense back in '99, I think 15 for, and Jamar Chase had 3 touchdowns, 15 catches yesterday. He's elite.
And, well, the thing is, like, the injury kind of slowed him down with his push foot.
Yeah.
But what I see is them getting to that rhythm. You know, he hasn't been practicing with Jamar in how long with full speed reps. and now you see them get into a rhythm. The game is all about rhythm.
Hey, the debate of Belichick and Brady, it was definitely Brady, all right? Because Belichick and the Patriots can't win. I mean, what's going on? Fire that guy.
Oh, my God.
He didn't do enough. Get him out of there. He's getting old.
9 Super Bowls.
This is what they're saying in New England, Dan. I mean, they're just telling you. I mean, this is like when I grew up in New England. Bags over the heads, blackouts on TV. Patriots stunk. That's why I was a Dolphins fan growing up.
Oh, gosh.
I think I heard it today. The GM is hurting the coach.
That's
because
fair.
they don't have enough talent around the team.
Right.
Because what they said, that's one of the worst receiving corps in the league.
Right.
So the GM, which is the head coach, is hurting himself.
I think that's a fair point.
Happy birthday to Cam Robinson today. Welcome back to the lineup for the first time in almost 300 days. And, you know, it's emotional. These guys get hurt. They put a lot of work in the offseason. He had the suspension he had to deal with as well. Welcome back. It wasn't perfect yesterday by any stretch for Cam Robinson, but hopefully it's a boost for the offensive line. And just listen and watch Cam as our post-game in the locker room yesterday. You can tell it meant a lot to be back.
That was a fun one. That's the stuff to clean up. I'm always focused on the stuff. Even if we win, I'm always focused on the stuff we need to clean up. I need to clean up. And, but yeah, man, that was fun. First game since whenever we played Dallas last year. So some rust, but it's just fun to be back out there with the guys.
How much is going through your mind that that's been a long road to get back to what was today?
It's been a hell of a road. But the support from the people here, the front office people here, the coaches here, my teammates here, it's all been, I can't thank them enough. They supported me 100%, wholeheartedly the whole way through, and I leaned on them a lot. It was tough for me mentally dealing with this, something I've never dealt with before, and they helped me. I leaned on them a lot. They were everything for me.
At the end of the day, you guys put together 2 monster drives in the second half. Did you feel like you wore them down?
I think so. We just knew we needed to go on a drive because our defense was playing magnificent, great football. Defense was playing great football, but we knew we couldn't keep putting them back on the field. Just try to play some complementary ball. They get off, we go on a long drive, give them a break, and I think that's got to be one of the staples of this football team is complementary football.
How hard is it to get 2 wins in London?
Man, it's hard. I only played in one of them, but it was still hard, and it was fun, man. I've been over here a lot, and they always treat us well over here, but it's just fun to get out there and compete, but the 2 wins is difficult.
Let me ask you about your quarterback, the toughness that he showed, the throws that he made. I mean, that's the first time you've played with him this year. Yep. I know he's behind you most of the time, but how good was he?
He's that guy. I'm thankful for him. Tough as they come, as good as they come, as good a person as could be. Great guy.
That might have been my favorite interview of the year so far, Cam Robinson. He was really good in the locker room on Sunday. Speaking of really good, how about Mike Caldwell? People are talking about this guy firing him before the end of year 1. Look what he's doing with the defense now. We'll talk about the Jags defense a bit more when we come back live from Sneakers in Jax Beach. It's Jags Report Live here on a Monday night. Join us each and every Monday for an hour, 7 p.m., live on Fox 30.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
All right, we're back at Sneakers. Jags winners yesterday. Crowd pumped up, ready to roll. Beat the Buffalo Bills, getting ready for the Colts back at the bank on what will be a beautiful day for football. Nice, cool temperatures coming up on Sunday. Maybe the unsung hero of this Jaguars organization right now is Mike Caldwell, because most of us felt like they weren't going to be the best defense in the NFL. So, Aaron, I'll ask you, Aaron Beasley with us, what makes a good defensive coordinator?
Putting people in the right places where they can be successful. You know, like certain guys have certain gifts. Like when I was here, I wasn't the fastest, but I could read stuff, you know. So what I see now is him being here for a year. He's learning personalities, learning what guys can do great.
You know what I like about him? I think he calls and pushes the right buttons at the right time. Go back to the Tennessee game last year. He dialed up that blitz at the right time. Rayshon Jenkins makes the play. You look at what he's doing with Trey Herndon on the corner blitzes. Seems like they're coming at the right time. You got to have a knack for that, but he's a former player, so he's got a good feel.
And what I see, like I just said, he knows what guys can do. Trey Herndon isn't the best cover guy, but he can get up there and cause a lot of disruptions up in the play in the line.
The other thing is, we mentioned this earlier, the Jags are tackling at a very high level.
Your Tackle Tracker, sponsored by IHRS, tackling hair loss.
Hey, Dan, no double-digit tackle on Sunday because the Bills didn't run enough plays. They didn't have the football.
I know.
So Darius Williams made probably too many tackles for a corner because they kept throwing it his way.
Yeah.
Aluakin had 7 as well, but we wanted to give some love to somebody else because Aluakin's also always getting those tackles.
Every week.
But, man, is he solid. He's strong. We know that.
Yeah, they have, and Josh Allen is their name guy on defense, but really, superstar-wise, they don't have the superstars. It's just a great unit that is playing well together, isn't it, Aaron?
That's what I like about them.
Yeah.
Everybody's cohesive.
Yeah.
And, like, being around them, seeing it in the summer, you can tell that they were a lot more comfortable. Sometimes you're put in a system and you don't know the lineage and how to communicate like the coach wants. But now I feel like a year into this, they all see what he wants.
All right, Brent, you were over in London. You spent some time with Shad Khan. Just real quick, what are your thoughts about Jacksonville and the future of the London games? We know they're going to play one game a year there right now. What do you think? How does this unfold over the next decade after the first 10 years?
Yeah, I think this setup could be played more. I think the Jags didn't mind it. I think Shad Khan likes it. I think London likes it. I think it also has to match up. They got fortunate that the Titans and the Bills were away games on their schedule and going to play in London. Mm-hmm. And so it has to match up. The Jaguars are going to do a lot of homework and check with Balky and Peterson and players and the league and the logistics team to see, okay, did this work? Can this work every year? And I think there's a lot of people that will have a say. In fact, I saw Shad Khan doing that on the sideline on Sunday before the game.
I'll be curious to see how they play this Sunday, Aaron, because the jet lag coming back. Obviously, it'll take you a couple days to shake those cobwebs.
That's part of it. I think that's part of the conversation.
It's hard for me to, think about that because all I want to do is line up. Put me on the field.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be in the right mental state because we know how big this game is. It's a big game.
Yeah, they've embraced all of that. This is a mentally tough football team, and you got to give credit to Doug Peterson, and they've built that locker room to be pretty mentally strong. When we come back, well, how did the dog do? Got the pick last week.
Yeah.
Get a winning streak? Ask Aspen.
Next.
When we come back on Jags Report Live, right here on Fox 30.
Yeah.
Sneakers in Jax Beach on a beautiful Monday here in Jacksonville, Florida. Good to be back. We hope to see you at the bank on Sunday at 1.
The Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Let's go! Maurice Jones-Drew dropping by as we were sending some things back to Jackson. Look at Mojo. He's like the biggest Jags fan ever, man. You got to love him.
He is.
If you ever give
he always picks them.
Always picks the Jags. Yeah. Always picks the Jags. And how about Aspen?
I don't know. Aspen's had some shaky games so far this week.
It's time for Ask Aspen on Jags Report Live.
It's time for Ask Aspen, sponsored by Subaru of Jacksonville on Atlantic, the right choice for your next vehicle.
Are you ready? Make your pick. Oh. Good job. Oh, no, we have second thoughts? Oh, we just don't like the treats. Well, you went to this one first.
You know what, Aspen? I'm kind of with you, though. I mean, they got to get Ingram in the end zone. The guy's doing it. Well, they actually had him, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was a touchdown in his hands.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a nice play by the defender.
Yeah.
He got lucky, though, the defender did, didn't he? Just got it right before.
Never luck.
Not when you did it, but when they do it.
Hey, man, when you make a play, it's supposed to happen.
That's right. Jag Social, 7:30 on Fox 30 every Friday with Chandler and Olivia, and that's where Aspen makes the picks, and then we see if she got it right.
All right, so we're on to the Colts, man. It's a big game, and it's a home game, and it's a divisional game, and it's going to be perfect weather. The bank needs to be packed, and we got to get rocking and rolling on this season right now, right?
Yeah, I think you got to do it. This is hard stretch. Sunday was in London. Sunday here's in Jacksonville. Thursday game in New Orleans in a different time zone, 3 different time zones.
Ooh. Well, the way these guys and all the treatment that they get, I mean, these guys know how much sleep guys are getting. I mean, so I feel like we'll be all right. But this is a big game, though.
Keep an eye, though. 53 touches for ETN the last 2 weeks. I don't know if you can continue to give him the ball in this stretch. You're going to have to get something from Bigsby or Johnson or Hasty, somebody else, to complement Travis Etienne. Well, here's the deal. They got the wins.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're back on track.
Back
to
on
a heck
track.
of a season in Jacksonville. So we'll see you Sunday at Everbank Stadium right there. The lights will be on. The sun will be out. And hopefully the Jags will light up the scoreboard. Thanks for hanging with us each and every Monday. Jags Report Live on Fox 30.